Well, if you thought that we weren't going to get new shiny Pokemon cards this year, you would be mistaken, because just revealed something that I'm very excited about is the Zacian and Zamazenta vs Eternatus special deck set. Now, this is a new product that has just been revealed for Japan. It's coming out this November on the 5th. It's going to retail for 5,500 yen. And it is something that we kind of heard a little bit about back in August. So we kind of knew that this product was coming. I wasn't expecting to see it in this format, but nevertheless, I am excited about it. Very importantly though, it is bringing with it two new shiny cards, one of Zacian V and one of Zamazenta V. Now, this is very exciting, and for me personally, a little bit disappointing. I'm going to go into why, but regardless of all that, I think it's really cool and I'm excited to talk about it with you guys here today. Now, when I first saw the product sheet for this back in August, the first thing I thought of was Shiny Crobat V box, which, if you don't remember, was a special product that came out after Shiny Star V released, but did come with 6 booster packs of Shiny Star V, plus that really nice looking Shiny Crobat V card that was a promo, as well as some other playable cards. So that was a product that was sort of targeted at both collectors and players. This is kind of similar, except it's not coming with any booster packs from any set, specifically not coming with any booster packs from VMAX Climax. VMAX Climax, that is supposedly this year's high class pack, which we don't really know much about, but it's basically a shoe-in for this year's version of Shiny Star V. Now, having said that, it is also coming with those two really nice looking Shiny Zacian V and Zamazenta V cards that look extremely similar to the shiny cards from last year's set, Shiny Star V. Now, for me, I think that's like a good and a bad thing. Good because I like that style and it is cool to see shiny Pokemon back again, but I'm a little bit kind of disappointed. I was kind of expecting a little bit more this year from the supposed VMAX Climax set, beyond just shiny cards that are looking really similar to Shiny Star V shiny cards. Beyond that though, this is a product that is targeted primarily at players more than collectors, although the fact that it does have those two shiny Zacian and Zamazenta V cards in it sort of is a way to entice collectors too, and let's be honest, it's gonna work. It's kind of sucked me into. However, the price point is pretty expensive. It's 5,500 yen. That's how much a high-class booster box will typically cost at the end of the year. Why is it so much? Well, again, it does have a lot of gear for not just one player, but for two people to get started right away. It is going to come with a Zacian and Zamazenta V deck, which will have 60 cards in it, some new cards, a lot of reprints of really playable and really viable cards, and it's going to come with another deck of Eternatus V. So expect to see reprints of cards like Professor's Research, Marnie, Boss's Orders. However, you will also see new cards, reprints, but with new illustrations of cards from sets like Darkness Ablaze. You've got the Duraludon. This one's illustrated by Kawayu, one of my favorite artists. They do amazing work for special arts. And there is a new Hooper card as well. This one's illustrated by Soichiro Gunjima. So there are going to be some new cards. I fully expect there to be some other reprinted cards with new illustrations, which is always really cool to see. But for the most part, it is a set with a pre-built deck with reprints in it. If that sounds familiar, that's because it is. It's really similar to the Inteleon and Gengar high-class decks which came out earlier this year that did have those exclusive special arts in it. Now, the good news is those Zacian V and Zamazenta V shiny cards are not randomly inserted into each box. They will be in every box. The Japanese Pokemon card specifically says these are an end-of-year present to players, so rest assured if you do buy this product, retail, secondary market, those cards will be inside the box. Now, what else can you find in this thing? The usual business. You're going to get a deck case. One's going to have Zacian and Zamazenta on it. The other one's going to have Eternatus V on it. You're going to get 2 coins. One's going to have Zacian. One's going to have Zamazenta. You're going to get your damage counters. You're going to get a case for your damage counters. You're going to get a playmat, and the whole box is going to basically double as a card storage box too. So really similar to other player-focused products that get you going and give you the storage elements that you're going to need if you're playing too. So is this a big deal or not? Well, it totally depends on how you look at it. For me personally, I'm kind of excited, but I'm also left feeling a little bit high and dry. The reason why I say that is because we have got a new shiny Pokemon, and hey, shiny Pokemon are cool, especially when they're of legendaries, but they're in the same style as Shiny Star V. And while I do like that style, and I did really enjoy Shiny Star V, and I had a lot of fun with it, I was kind of hoping to see something a little bit different this year. Experimentation is always really cool. It's always fun to sort of push the boundaries of things and try new things, but you know, it kind of feels like they're playing it a little bit safe by bringing Zacian V and Zamazenta V in the same style as last year's shiny cards. And they could still totally subvert expectations with VMAX Climax. Just because we are seeing a new Shiny Zacian V and Zamazenta V, doesn't necessarily mean that VMAX Climax is also going to have shiny Pokemon in it too. They could very well have just been releasing these to sort of say, hey, you know what? We didn't include the doggos in Shiny Star V, but here they are as like a farewell to 2021. So that would be kind of cool. And if that's the case, I think I'll be kind of okay with it. But I do personally have pretty high expectations for VMAX Climax. I'm kind of hoping to see special art cards for Pokemon V and VMAX Pokemon that didn't get special arts last year. I feel like there's so many opportunities there. I mean, imagine if they do like a Pikachu V or Pikachu VMAX special art. It's basically a shoo-in. It's going to sell that set like you would not believe. Not that it sort of needs any more pushing, but you could also make a really, really strong case for the other side, which is that, you know what, more shiny Pokemon is cool, especially considering we have such a huge pool of V and VMAX Pokemon to choose from this year. You've got Rayquaza V and VMAX, you've got Mew V and VMAX, you've got all the evolutions from EV Heroes, you've got Blaziken, you've got the Galarian Birds. There are so many really, really cool V and VMAX Pokemon that got introduced this year that would look absolutely fantastic as shiny Pokemon too. I just can't help but feel that if it's the same kind of style as Shiny Star V, while that will kind of keep things uniform, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. I don't know. I think I need a little bit more time to think about it. And as we do get closer to the end of the year, I am sure we're going to learn more about VMAX Climax. But for now, I'm just like, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm in the middle. I can't kind of make my mind up on this one. If I had to call the shots, I would really prefer that they did release something like this, like the Shiny Crobat box, because it is always cool to get booster packs of the high class pack at the end of the year inside products like this. However, I get what they're trying to do. It's really difficult to get cards from sets that came out in 2020 if you are trying to play. So it looks to me like Pokemon Japan is trying to make that a bit easier, especially combined with Start Deck 100. They're trying to reprint older cards from those older sets and put them into products that, you know, are readily available. However, it is sort of counterintuitive. When you put a collector's item inside a player-driven product, you kind of make that really, really difficult. And we saw that a lot with the Gengar V and Inteleon V high-class deck this year. They put that special art that was seeded in each case. I think it was like 1 in 6 boxes had a special art in it of the Gengar VMAX or the Inteleon VMAX. Now, for me, I thought that was like, you know, that went against the whole point of the product. If you're going to put a chase card that a collector wants in a product that's driven for players, then you're making it harder for players to get it because collectors, they're buying it all and they're either displaying it or they're holding it long term. So, you know, for me, that was kind of a weird one. This kind of the same thing, you know, Zacian V, Zamazenta V, shiny versions of them. They're really, really popular Pokemon. If they are only going to do this once, this is going to be a one print thing, then, you know, the people that get it the first 1 or 2 or 3 waves, awesome. They're going to get it. That's fantastic. But it doesn't help things long term. However, they very well may continue to release products like this through the next, you know, 2021, 2022 and onwards. And if they do that, I said if they do that, then yeah, then it's going to be easier for players to get those cards. So I'm 50-50 on it. Who knows which way this one's going to pan out. As for whether you should buy this as an international collector, well, I'm kind of divided on it. I totally get that people like to buy products like this to keep them sealed, to put them on the shelf because it looks nice. I totally get that. Having said that though, you know, you want to see those cards. Those are really cool cards. They're iconic Pokemon for the Sword and Shield era. So if you sort of lock them behind a sealed box, it defeats the purpose of it a little bit. If you do want to just get the cards, it's probably going to be a little bit cheaper to buy them as singles. I expect the singles, the total price of them, to be more expensive than the box at retail, but less expensive than the box on the secondary market. I've already seen this thing listed on Amazon Japan for 2 to 3 times the recommended retail price. Again, it is 5,500 yen. I'm seeing it listed for 11,000 to 16,000 yen. So if you do want the cards, consider just buying them as singles because I do fully expect to see them cheaper than the cost of the box on the secondary market. Bear in mind though, it will almost definitely be more expensive to buy them as singles than just getting the box at retail. But whether you can get the box at retail, I find it very unlikely in this era of collecting. Will we see these cards come out in English? Yes, almost certainly. I fully expect to see these cards released in early 2022 as part of the potential English version of VMAX Climax, which we're almost certainly going to get, or maybe as promos in maybe like a tin or a collection box, or perhaps in a potential Trainer Toolkit 3.0. It would be really cool to see these cards get included in like an English version of this special deck set. I think that would be a fantastic thing personally. Nevertheless, when we don't know a whole lot about the sets that these cards are tied to, it's always sort of hard to understand the format of the releases and if we're going to see other cards similar to them. So as we get closer to the end of the year and we learn more about VMAX Climax, because remember, we don't know basically anything about that set except for that it exists, then we're going to sort of understand more and more about these cards. Until then, guys, let me know in the comments what shiny Pokemon you want to see released this year. Leave a like, make sure to subscribe, pretty please. And until then, I'll see you over at twitch.tv/okJLUV. Take care.